Okay, we're going to get started. So welcome everyone for joining us today at this beautiful Thursday. So welcome to the second session on Sustainable Practice Working Sessions, and today is going to be the district's role. I am John Henry. I'm with New Jersey School Boards Association. I'm their STEAM and Sustainable School Specialist. I've been with them for 9 years, and a good portion of those years have been working along the side of Heather and, of course, Jennifer Seal, who is our STEAM and Sustainable Coordinator. So, Heather, if you could just introduce yourself real quick.
Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Heather Mccall. I'm the Program Director of Sustainable Jersey for Schools.
And Jesse, do you want to introduce yourself too? We also have Jesse Adams from NJSBA.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name's Jesse Adams, and I'll be talking for a few minutes, but I'm a field representative for New Jersey School Boards Association.
Thank you, everybody. So before we actually jump into the session itself, this session is being recorded. And if you would like the link at a later date, just please send me an email and mute your audio unless you're speaking, because background noise is going to interrupt. So if not, we will mute you for you, but hopefully you just, if you have a question or something as the presentation goes on, please don't hesitate to ask a question or put it in the chat. We're going to be taking Q&As throughout the presentation. And of course, as always, the slide deck for this will be available upon request. So if you could, in the chat, put your name, affiliation, and title. We're going to move on, but in the meantime, just if you could do that, just so we know who's with us. We can see your name, but we are not always, we don't see the district that you're from. Okay, so again, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, just want a couple announcements about New Jersey School Boards Association. We started a few weeks ago our RUI STEAM Ready Design Challenges for a Sustainable Future with Rutgers University and the U.S. Army. We had our second session yesterday. We're going to have our next one on December, I believe it's the 3rd. And this week was a big week for us. We launched our virtual Steam Tank Challenge 2021. For those of you who are not familiar with Steam Tank, it's growing in leaps and bounds in terms of how many student teams are in it. We had last year for our application process, we had over 660 teams applied to become part of Steam Tank. And the reason why this is so important is that it's a design thinking entrepreneurial challenge, but it has a sustainability component in it. In other words, the students can't design, build, create, invent anything unless they have sustainability in their focus. And it also, if they participate in Steam Tank, Heather, I believe it can obtain points in the innovation category, correct? Right. And the link is actually in this slide right here. If not, you can go onto our website and go to Steam Tank, and the applications are live.
I'll actually post it, John, in the link in chat.
Oh, great. Thank you, Jen.
On the bottom. Okay.
By the way, Jennifer Seal, if I didn't mention it, it will be monitoring the chat, and she'll be posting information and resources as we go through our presentation. So as always, thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
So the Steam Tank, this is the web page for it. You'll have, everything you need is basically located on this page. We've been doing this. This is actually going into our 5th season of this, and it's going quite well. Of course, when COVID hit, we turned our attention to a Steam Tank at Home challenge. And this is also a place where you can get some resources and design challenges. Half of the ones that are on here are related to sustainability. Some are in music, some are in arts, some are about preparedness, some are about architecture. There's also a green building challenge in here as well. So, please, if you could, visit these. You could share them with, if you're a board member, share them with your district or your teacher. Please see if these can, you can go in here and you can modify these and do whatever you want with them. We also have Rutgers problem solving and a couple of challenges that they have posted on this Steam Tank at Home site as well. So lots of resources here. Quick announcement about the Green Ribbon Schools by the U.S. Department of Education. Green Ribbon Schools, New Jersey Audubon has posted its application process is now open. So for those of you who would like to venture into the Green Ribbon Schools application process, it is, as we call it, and Heather has said this many times, it is the Academy Award of the green schools, but it is a little bit more complicated and rigorous to achieve, but that's a matter of perspective. And most of the things you're going to be doing with Sustainable Jersey for Schools, or even eco schools under the New Jersey Audubon, would really apply for this. So if you're up for the challenge, take a look at the application. So I want to mention one thing, and we're going to get started here on really what we're going to talk about today, but just this is the district's role. And the Board of Education sometimes feels that they approve maybe pass a resolution or something like that, but their role, the board members, is much more. So I just wanted to bring to attention and if you haven't heard of this, board members may have, but others have not. It was called the Iowa Lighthouse Inquiry, and the Iowa Association of School Boards, with the support of the National School Boards Association, conducted ongoing research of the effectiveness of school boards and their role in advancing student achievement. Well, student achievement, we're looking at advancing student achievement, but we're going to spin this to sustainability. The study actually identified, the purpose of the study was to identify characteristics of a school board with higher levels of student achievement and how they led to the district towards high performance. Okay, the conclusion was that the board actions are a key part of the culture of improvement. The school boards can create conditions for promoting student achievement, and in this case, they can promote the conditions for a sustainable school. So the Board of Ed isn't just hands off, or the district administration are hands off when it comes to sustainability. And even when you're looking to earn a certification in Sustainable Jersey for Schools, they are an integral part. They could be part of committees. They pass policies and resolutions and look at board goals and strategic plan. They're a big part of it. So it's not a hands-off thing. And Jesse's going to be talking about that in a few minutes. And in fact, I'm going to introduce him right here, and he's going to do a deeper dive. So Jesse, if you could take it from here and talk about what New Jersey School Boards Association offers from a field service representative perspective, and policies and other services that we have, including our sustainability services that we offer for schools if we would like help advancing sustainability in your district.
Great, John. No problem. All right. Like I said, everybody, welcome. I'm glad you're taking the time to participate today in what I believe is a very valuable process for all districts in the state. As I said earlier, I'm a field representative. Basically, I have responsibilities for the specific counties of Burlington, Mercer, and about half of Camden County. There's 7 other field reps in the state of New Jersey working for NJSBA, and we all have similar sized territories. Like I said, about 68 to 70 board members, boards of education, I'm sorry. And I like to call ourselves the pointy end of the spear. Right, we're the ones who every day we're out there with the boards of education. Obviously, with COVID, we're doing a lot more of our work virtually, but we work directly with the boards. We provide all kinds of services from governance counseling and consulting to professional development and training. We'll execute and help facilitate strategic plans, goal setting, you name it. We are the first, I guess I call it first stop shop when you come to NJSBA. And if we don't have the answers for you, we have the entire organization to reach back to get the answers that a board member may need, or a board of education may need, or a superintendent or business administrator. We serve all of our members, which consist of all those folks. One of the big things that I like to tell folks is that the Board of Education plays a big role, as John was earlier mentioning, and that role stems from what I call the culture. If you, as a board, as a district, believes that sustainability is a key element of your district, and you want it to be a big part of your district and the way a district moves, then you need to have a culture that drives that. And boards can do that very, very easily through policies. And what do I mean by that? We talk to boards all the time about what's their functions. And there are really 4 functions of a board. And that's policy, planning, oversight and appraisal, and two-way communication. Those are the 4 main responsibility or 4 functions of a Board of Education? Well, the board is a policy-making body. So under the area of policy, it becomes pretty clear that if a Board of Education feels that sustainability is an important piece of their operation, their organization, their district, and they want it to become a part of their culture, they set the tone with policy. Policies are what the boards of education want for their district. So, and there's a ton of them in every district. But in this case, by developing a sustainability policy, they've established that as a board of education, this is something they want within their district. And so boards, and we tell boards, you don't have to start from scratch when you develop a sustainability policy, because we have those services through our policy organization, as well as through our sustainability organization, John Henry. We have a pretty robust template for a sustainability policy, basically soup to nuts. And it can be tailored based on your board's needs and desires. So like I said, they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They can take our template, use it, modify it, and then first reading, second reading, adopt it. And they've established that this is an expectation for their district through their sustainability policy. And you're off and running. I think Heather will talk about it a little later. That's one of those requirements. If you're going to be in the program, you have to develop that policy. So that's a good way to get things kick-started, but it also sets the tone for the district. The second thing that districts that boards of education are responsible for is the planning piece of the equation. And what do I mean by planning? Boards of education are required every year by law to establish district goals, and they tie into a superintendent's evaluation. But that's important because that sets on an annual basis where the district is focusing for the year as it relates to targets that they're looking to improve student achievement with. So that goal setting capability is important. A lot of districts will do that goal setting typically in the summertime as one year has ended and a new year is starting. But establishing district goals is important. And so depending on your board's culture, some of those goals may include some of the sustainability functions that you're looking to improve on throughout the year. Additionally, and field reps, I can tell you, routinely facilitate goal setting sessions with boards of education. So we help work that collaborative discussion between the board and superintendent to arrive at the 3 to 5 district goals that the board and the superintendent are looking to focus on with the district for the next year. There's also the ability to plan through what's called strategic planning. And some boards, I would say about 40 to 50% of the boards around the state do strategic planning. We recommend it. When we talk about the annual district goals, I call that the tactical, year to year. But then there's that strategic piece that boards of education are responsible for, and they can do that through strategic planning. Where do you want your district to be 3 to 5 years down the road? What's your journey looking like? What are the goals and objectives? What's the action plan? That planning is also the responsibility of the board. Typically, boards will do that if they work with New Jersey school boards and allow us to facilitate their strategic planning process. We will bring in the community and stakeholders, and we'll work through a process that will get the desires of the community on the table, so that the board has a good feel for where does the community think we need to be, and through that strategic planning process, you can build a 3 to 5 year strategic plan with specific goals and objectives. And what we found is during the strategic planning process, we typically, the area of sustainability always comes into play because of the benefits it can help from both a financial as well as a cultural experience. So that's another area that field services can help you in. And then and we talked about board governance. The big thing is that field reps can help a district through that process of infusing their desires for a robust sustainability program in all aspects of their governance and capabilities. It's talked about a lot of things. Well, some of you, if you're a board member, hopefully you know who your field rep is. But if not, there is on our website, you can very easily find who the field representative is for your district. And John, if you don't mind, I can share my screen real quick and just walk them through that if that's okay.
It's okay with me, and I'm glad you talk about the policy. By the way, we do have a pretty robust sustainability and environmental policy, which does include gardens as well. We do have to make some modifications now that the climate change standards actually were kicked in on June 3rd. So we will be doing that as well.
Okay, so I'm going to grab the ball for a second and move it to myself. Hopefully that will work.
You have it.
All right, and then let me share. Let's see, where's that browser?
Yeah, so if you are not familiar with our sustainability policy, hopefully, you can please email me. I will send you a copy of it. It's a discretionary policy. It has, like Jesse said, it's from soup to nuts. We included a variety of things in there. It's not just an energy policy or waste management policy. It does have a lot of different content areas in it.
Nope, not. All right, let me see. All right, try one more time. It's not working for me, so I'm going to stop sharing.
Jesse, I can bring it up on my screen if you would like.
Yeah, if you could, just take them to the NJSBA homepage. I just wanted to show them in 2 clicks how they could find out who their field rep is. So I'm passing the ball back to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're on the field services rep page.
Actually, go to the homepage. Start at the homepage, our NJSBA homepage. Right. And then when you go under field services, when you click on field services, I believe, yep, it gives you this little box. You'll see right there, find your FSR.
Right.
And if you type in Princeton Board of Ed, and then click on that and find.
There you go.
Look at that handsome devil that pops up.
Wow.
Right?
It's impressive picture.
So if you're not sure who your field rep is, if you go to our homepage, you use the drop down to go to field services. You'll have a find your FSR block. Type in your district, hit find, and a field rep's picture and contact information will show up there for you, and you can reach out to them and they can assist you and your board in anything you need and definitely help you work to infuse sustainability into your governance process. All right. And thanks for your attention.
Oh, great. Thank you, Jesse. That was awesome. And I really encourage people to reach out to their representatives for that reason alone, because they can really help them with the board governance piece of sustainability. They're skilled. They've had many years of experience in there, so it's actually really good to reach out to them. So I'm going to start share. I'm going to share my screen one more time for a couple more slides You know what, Heather, it's okay because I have a couple more slides there, but it's really what Jesse just talked about. So take it away.
Okay. I prematurely grabbed the ball from you. This is we've all become very proficient at all the different, virtual meeting stuff, the Zooms, the Microsoft Teams, and this WebEx is kind of fun because they give a ball that you pass back and forth. So, anyway, I'm Heather Mccall. I'm the program director of Sustainable Jersey for Schools. I recognize some of your names and faces from our last session. This is our second of several sustainable practices sessions. We used to do this as one day where we'd be all in the room together and eat lunch together and power through all of the actions in the Sustainable Jersey program. But because of the pandemic, we're doing it this way, which is actually nicer because we get to meet more of you and you don't have to travel as far, and we can break down the sections of creating change by different roles in the schools. So I encourage you to invite other members of your administration and team to other sections of our series, or again, attend all of them if you wish for the full experience and the full credit, because you do get credit towards your Green Board member certification through New Jersey school boards. Your attendance also counts towards the professional development for sustainability action if you're pursuing certification, because you're attending training that's lasting more than 2 hours. So again, thanks everybody for joining us. So the sustainability movement, the green schools movement is happening whether you're on board with it or not. The pressure is coming in terms of your budgetary expenses, how to do more with less. It's coming from your students. People are hearing about other districts in Maryland and Virginia. All of the new schools are built to a zero waste, a net zero standard, and New York City schools has a zero waste school goal in the next few years to make all of their schools zero waste. Your students are getting upset about what is in the cafeterias. They're looking at the amount of plastic and styrofoam that's being thrown away. They've met with your state representatives to inspire them to move legislation through to ban those things from your school cafeterias. They're applying for grants through Sustainable Jersey to get materials to switch out your styrofoam in schools. They're speaking at your board meetings, talking about recycling, talking about these things that are important, talking about saving energy for your school. And your State Board of Public Utilities has tremendous incentives available, and we'll be talking about that at the next Sustainable Practices section focused on energy, where many schools are really taking advantage of the greening of their building to create budget dollars that can be translated back into the classroom. New Jersey is number 2 in the nation for solar installation in schools. And looking into this area, again, we're going to dive into this much deeper at the next session in December, is something that that you can really do as a board member to help stretch your budget dollars further. So, we're talking in general about sustainable practices, but the vehicle in New Jersey for, creating a framework for you and some direction and some resources to really have these changes take place sooner than later, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel, is the Sustainable Jersey for Schools certification program. This was launched in 2014. It's modeled after a very successful municipal program that's been around for over 10 years. It's a free program. It's voluntary. It's unique to New Jersey. It's not modeled after any state or federal program. It's created by Sustainable Jersey, a nonprofit housed at the College of New Jersey. And it's a great tool for you to work through these different areas as a district leader to create change. It is funded as a nonprofit by the following underwriters. We have a grant program that's given away over $2.2 million to participating schools for projects. And it also enjoys the support of all of your association that are active in your school, because, you know, having a healthy school environment is good for employees. Saving money and sharing best practices around board leadership and strategic planning and policy is supporting the work of School Boards Association. Talking about best practices for green purchasing and energy is great for the business officials. So, you know, everybody is on board with this effort in New Jersey, and we're really proud of the collaborative relationships that we've developed, that we're all pulling in the same direction. So this is part of a wider movement. Over 81% of the municipalities in New Jersey, because again, they had a head start, have these green teams at the town level of volunteers working on sustainability measures at the town level. And already in just 5 years, over 60% of the districts in New Jersey, of school districts, are participating in the program, with well over 200 schools certified. We do encourage partnership with your municipal green team because there, again, is that network out there where you can reach out and collaborate and add bodies to your bodies and do projects together. In fact, we give an award for that every year at our award ceremony. And you can look up to see who is active in your sending district on the Sustainable Jersey website. That's not Sustainable Jersey for Schools, but Sustainable Jersey. Look on the map of participating towns and see what's going on. So why you should participate and look at your activity through this framework, because it identifies concrete actions that you can take to become more sustainable. There's guidance there on exactly how to do it. If you're a new board member and this is the first time that you're creating policy or proposing policy and you feel a little unsure about what you're doing, there's samples out there from other schools and you can see what's happening around you. So if you've got some things that really excite you, that you would like to see happen in your district, but you're kind of getting resistance from other board members or administrators or people telling you, no, we can't do that. You know, that's too hard to do. You can look on the website and see what other schools are doing and say, actually, about 30 other schools are doing that. So maybe we could actually do this. And the money is there to help you. Again, we've given over $2.2 million in grants. We have a grant cycle open right now, which I'll tell you about a little bit later. That's due on December 4th. And we would love more applications. I think there's been a lot of shell shock and turmoil at the beginning of this year. Some of you have schools that are open. Some of you are doing hybrid. Some of you are full remote through the rest of the year. And it's a lot of challenges you've been dealing with. So I think applying for a grant has been kind of low on people's totem poles. So if you would like some funding for initiatives, please apply. It's there and we could use a few more applications. And again, it's a recognition program so that you can brag. So who doesn't like to do that? Our definition of sustainability is a broad one. It's not just about recycling or having a green building. It's about people, prosperity, and planet. So we look at social emotional learning. We look at arts. We look at the financial end of your school operations. We look at things holistically and put those into perspective in terms of, having a whole school, having a green school. Our actions are developed by task force members. We have a menu of actions for you to choose from that's on our website. And you'll see there's little symbols next to those actions. There's a bell for a school and a government looking building for district. Today, we're going to focus on the actions that have that district icon, because those are concrete actions that you as a district leader can implement or propose at the district level. And again, our depth and breadth of goes from everything to diversity and equity, to enhancing communications, to staying technologically relevant, to health and wellness, a whole host of things. So odds are that if your school is already engaged in some other type of initiative, like a school of character or a blue ribbon school, or a whole host of other programs that are out there, that work is going to fit into your overall sustainability picture and enhance your work in this area. So again, our main area is the Sustainable Jersey for Schools website. Everything that you need is there. I have been checking this map here in the middle of the page, the map of participating schools, as you all were checking in and introducing yourselves. So for the most part, all of you are participating. There's only a few that are not registered right now. So that would be Michael in Hamburg, Maureen in Garwood, and Carla in Pleasantville. So in order to get on board, we would need you guys to pass a resolution at an upcoming board meeting. And that resolution is on our website. And once that's passed, you upload that to our website and you're registered. And once you're registered and you have a few people that you can name on your green team, you're eligible for grants. So although this might not work for you for the December 4th deadline, we do have another grant round in the spring sponsored by PSE&G. So Hamburg, Garwood, and Pleasantville, if you want to make job number one, passing that resolution, you can look forward to maybe applying for some funding in the spring. So on the website, for all of the different actions and activities or policies that we're looking for you to do, there's guidance. What is it? What are we talking about? Why is it important? Who should lead? Who should be involved? How long is it going to take? Exactly what to do and how to do it. What to submit on your online application to show us that you accomplished this, and resources of different partners like New Jersey school boards, like Jesse, who you can call up and say, we're going to do some strategic planning. It looks like it's been 5 years since we've done the last one, and it's time for us to look at this again. And there in the resource section will be contact information for some folks who can help you implement these actions. So again, there's a sample of some of the resources. And then we also have this really great feature where you can search by action. So if you want to see everybody who's implemented a green purchasing policy, you can do that search and you can pull it up and you can see their certification application. You can read the story of how that came to be, and you can click on their policies and do what I like to call R&D, rip off and duplicate. Because again, you are not in this alone, and other folks in New Jersey are facing the same challenges that you are. So the certification, again, is at the school level, but as a district leader, you can complete initiatives that help support the points that need to be earned for certification. And currently we have 298 schools certified at the bronze level and 23 at the silver level. And once you are certified, you do gain priority access to our grants. So we save about half of our grant money for our certified schools. And then we also look at folks who've never gotten a grant before. And then we look at the diversity of projects. So the odds are really great that you'll get a grant. Even though there's a lot of schools participating, there's over 960 schools in the program. They're all at various stages of implementing grants. So if you're in the middle of a project, you can't apply for another grant and things like that. So John mentioned the green ribbon schools. That is part of a progression of work in this area. So maybe your school is doing Eco Schools, which is an international program with the Wildlife Foundation, and in New Jersey, it's the Audubon Society. That's a program that's implemented at the individual teacher level. And then, so maybe you'd start there, and then there's Sustainable Jersey, which builds practices and policies at the district and board level on top of that. And then there's Green Ribbon. We can only nominate about 3 to 5 schools from New Jersey for this recognition. So I know there's some superstars on the on the meeting today, like Howell, Al in Howell, hello again, and also John and Kelly in Winslow, both school districts that have had every single school certified in the Sustainable Jersey program, even some champion schools that have achieved more points than any other school in their category, and some silver certified schools. So they've got some high achievers there. So those would be some schools in their districts that should submit for national recognition. And this application is due on December 18th. You can cut and paste a lot of things from your Sustainable Jersey application to fulfill the requirements of this. It's mostly a narrative application. So there's no attaching of documents. It's just telling the story of who you are. So Al and John and Kelly, think about that for your district. You've been doing a great job. I'd love to see you guys get celebrated even more. So when we talk about getting certified and getting recognition and how your district activities fit into that, there's an overall level of points for this recognition. It's 150 points for bronze and 350 for silver. Everybody has to have a green team. We ask that they complete at least 2 priority actions. These are actions that we think are foundational to your work in sustainability, like energy audits or community education and outreach, or educating for sustainability. There's a menu for you to choose from, so it's your choice as to what you'd like to pursue to fulfill that requirement. And then we ask you to stretch your work over a diversity of categories. So you may have a really great facilities manager who's doing great stuff in waste and energy, but you can't really get certified on that work alone. You'll need to stretch out into some other categories, like maybe health and wellness or education or board leadership, in order to meet the requirements. The certification is at the school level. So although you all are Board of Ed district leaders with us today, the district does not get certified. The schools are the ones that receive that recognition because our districts are uneven, right? Over half of the districts in New Jersey are 2 schools or less. So it's kind of not fair to say, oh, this one school district got a district certification when another school district like Newark had to pull the weight of, 60 plus schools in order to get that honor. So it is at the school level, and it's good for 3 years. So you could rest on your laurels for 3 years, or folks like Howell and Winslow keep coming back year after year to keep that momentum going in their school district, to keep this topic top of mind, and to strive for the next level, which is the silver certification. We have a supportive certification cycle. We give you 3 opportunities to submit your materials, and then we notify you in early August, and we celebrate you. This year we celebrated virtually at the New Jersey School Board's workshop. So you can jump in at any time, but we do encourage you to try to submit some things over the course of this window so that we can continue this feedback loop and help you make improvements and have success. So we talked about getting registered. The first steps are the resolution of participation. And then once that's uploaded to our website, schools can register with a letter of participation signed by the principal and superintendent. We have a couple of you online that are not at that second step yet. So Greenwich Scott in Greenwich and my friends in Old Bridge, you've passed the resolution, so you're registered. But if you're looking to have a certification awarded, you'll have to get at least one of your schools to register, and so that you can move forward. You still can apply for grants, but if your ultimate goal is for certification, we'll need you guys to submit that letter of participation. And again, the sample for that's on the website. We have the actions divided by school and district, and then we have some actions that are both, because we recognize that some of your schools are in a small school district, and the communication is real tight. So it could be counted at the school district or at the school level. But the reason and the focus from here on out is going to be on that district role, on the district supporting sustainability initiatives and supporting those applications for certification. Everything that you complete as a district, whether it's a policy or practice or purchasing decision, flows down to the individual schools. So if you pass 3 policies, that's 30 points, and 30 points to the elementary school, 30 points to the middle school, 30 points to the high school. And actually, if you're really on fire with this from an administrative and board leadership point of view, there's up to 480 points in the program that are under that district heading that you could accumulate to get your school's certification. And yes, that's more than 150 points for bronze, and that's more than 350 points for silver. And we have seen some districts certify a lot of schools on the strength of their district leadership. One example is Newark. They just certified 61 schools this year. And that was largely due to policies and practices implemented and points accumulated via the district application. And then they supported that with a few activities at the individual school level. So depending where you're coming from, you may have a school district where the desire for this is very strong at the district and administrative leadership level, but you haven't quite gotten some folks who are on fire at the school level. So you might want to set the tone and pass the policies and start changing the culture at the district level, and then the schools will come on board later. We also see the opposite happen, where the district is not real interested in it, but you've got some really passionate educators and nurses at the school level, and they accumulate their 150 points and 350 points, nothing from the district, no policies, nothing. Everything that they got their points for was all happening at the school level. So we see it go both ways, but we want to reiterate the importance of you and what you bring as a district leader to, in influencing the direction where your school goes. So one of the choices you'll have to make is whether your green team is at the district or the school level. It can go either way. It's whatever works for you. So you may have some folks from existing teams that you've already created, that those folks can serve as your green team. We see people divide their agendas, half wellness council and the other half green team activities. One of the things you can do to encourage that participation is making sustainability part of your district goals. Jesse talked about that goals being an annual thing. And then your sustainability policy being a longer thing. You can have sustainability be part of the professional development goals. And as a district leader, you can fund that professional development. You can provide stipends to staff to coordinate green team initiatives in Delran. That's actually written into the teacher contracts. We've actually had schools like Princeton apply for our grants, especially our $2,000 grant, capacity building grant, and use that to give stipends to each school, $2,000 for each school. They each applied and used that as stipend money to subsidize the launching of their green teams. You can provide some release time for folks to work on these initiatives. You can work remotely using Google Docs. And you can take advantage of some of our green team resources on the website, particularly an action tracking spreadsheet that we have, which is really great. It's an Excel spreadsheet that you can use to assign work and make a plan. So the idea here is to make the strategic plan real. Take your annual goals and turn them into things that actually see action, not just sit on the shelf. Because those of you who've been through strategic planning know what an intensive process that is. You're having several meetings, you're convening the public, you're synthesizing all these feelings and passions and priorities from your community into actionable steps. And the Sustainable Jersey for Schools program can help you make the strategic plan real. Again, using that strategy of leading from the district and supporting the implementation. So we want you to go beyond the resolution. Schools register with our program. We've had over 960 schools registered and only a little over 300 certified. So what happened to the other folks, right? So those folks passed the resolution saying we're in, we want to participate, we want to be eligible for grants, but haven't really moved beyond that. Because sustainability isn't a thing where you pass the resolution and say, okay, we said you should do it. You have our blessing. We're done. Go forth and do. You do have a role. You do have a continuing role as a board leader. So one of the areas that you can look at in the upcoming months is to pass some policy. We have samples, and these are focus areas under policy, such as passing a green purchasing policy to consider the sourcing and the certification and the health aspects of the items that you're bringing into the school, whether it's recycled paper or Energy Star appliances, passing a green cleaning policy that says that your products must meet a green standard. And our action is for 100% green cleaning. And some of you will go back to your districts and talk to your BA or facilities manager, and they'll say, that's not possible. We can't be 100% green clean. You can. And many school districts in New Jersey are, and they've passed these policies and they've gotten points for achieving that. Passing a green building policy that any new construction or major renovation will be done to a green standard, whether that's LEED or Center for High Performance Schools or Green Globe, but that you're stipulating that when your architects design things or when you look at materials for those projects, that they'll be done to a green building standard. Classroom cleanup, this is supporting and going beyond PIOSH and having your community and your school students and staff really be partners with your facility staff in cleaning up the school and keeping it safe and free of asthma triggers for some of your students. Safe routes to schools. This policy encompasses work related to walking and busing and things such as even rerouting your buses to be more energy efficient. So having your older, stinkiest buses do the shortest routes and the newer, cleaner buses that you've purchased do the longer routes. And there are folks out there, again, in this action that can help you accomplish this. They're called transportation management agencies, and they're free. They're funded by highway tax dollars. So they're just waiting for you to call them, and they'll pick up the phone and they'll partner with you. They'll lock arms. They'll come to your district meetings. They'll help you with the policy. They'll help you with the plan, help you with putting on bike and pedestrian initiatives to teach your kids safe riding. You can get a grant for bike racks. You can do all kinds of things within the realm of these focus areas. Passing a physical activity policy, passing a sustainability policy, doing the strategic planning process and including in that strategic planning process green initiatives, whether it's related to energy or building operations or educating for sustainability or iSteam. And then we also give you points for actually taking steps to implement things in that strategic plan. And you can also pass an iSteam policy with strategic plan indicators. So those are a list of several policies that we have samples for. And in fact, John and the policy department at school boards has made it really easy for you. They've now done something very cool and sneaky where they put a lot of these into one omnibus policy. So that encompasses, I think, 5 or 6 of these things on the list. So you just kind of show up at your next board meeting and say, let's talk about this omnibus policy. And you're going to knock out like 5 of these and get 50 points right off the bat by passing these at the board level. I'm going to just jump out for a second and show you a couple samples of what I'm talking about. See. So my folks in Winslow are here. Can you guys see this? Okay, I'm hoping that you can hear. Let me just make sure I've pressed the audio button. Okay. My friends in Winslow, everybody's certified. No audio. So I'm sorry, I understand we didn't have the audio. My apologies. That's from our virtual certification awards this year. There's an hour and 20 minutes of fabulousness from all of our schools. This year we certified more schools than ever, 174 schools. So if you go to the Sustainable Jersey website, it's right on the header. You can click and you can view this. Over the coming weeks, I'll be sharing some of the stories and some of the videos infused in some of our sessions. Next week, we're focusing on energy. So we'll be highlighting our Sustainability Makes Sense Award winner who's saved the most money off of their school budget by implementing Sustainable Jersey energy actions. So I'm going to show you a couple samples here. This is the strategic plan for Lawrence Township Public Schools. They are certified and they receive points under the Green Enhancements of Strategic Plans action. And you know, a lot of these things will be familiar to you in terms of language for, you know, vision and desire to improve, you know, students in the social, emotional, physical way. You know, a lot of this is kind of standard good stuff. So, but you can tie these things into your Sustainable Jersey actions, because if you're looking to navigate and prepare students for the future, you're going to want to work with iSTEAM and social emotional learning actions. If you're one of your action plans in here could also be to achieve Sustainable Jersey certification. This is again on our website, and the links are going to be in the presentation so that you can share that. A culture of learning for all. Again, we have social emotional learning actions in the program. So if this is one of your focus areas, including staff wellness, you can get points for those initiatives. Let's go to their next goal. Global community. Fiscal responsibility. So your work related to energy utilization and facilities maintenance and upgrades is going to tie into this. And what they did that I really like about their they broke their strategic plan activities into objectives. So one of their objectives is to do an audit to see where they're at in terms of their sustainable practices. And that's kind of where you are today, right? You're here, you're engaged in this to look at what you can do as a district leader to move forward with your sustainable practices. And so looking at the list of actions in our program and some of the things we're going to be talking about over the couple of weeks, you can kind of gauge where you need to focus your energies. So here they've assigned responsibility. They're, they want to register district in schools. They want to explore and seek grants. They want to monitor their progress. Their first step is to form their green team, to do an audit to see what they're already doing and what they need to do, register with Sustainable Jersey, attend some workshops, explore things, and seek grant options. So this is how they've taken their strategic plan and turned it into actions using the Sustainable Jersey program. They also passed the sustainability policy. Utilizing this is the language that's required is that you need to use sustainability as a framework for decision making, and that you will protect your students and staff from environmental harm, that you will prepare your students for the future, and that you will preserve current and future resources. So again, this is the standard language that's required to get points in this, and it is the standard language that's in this. This actually is, if you call up school boards or you go to our website and download and say, can I get a copy of policy 8900? This is what they're going to send you. And you can bring this to your next board meeting and propose that for, again, this is from 2016. So John and his team at school boards have really beefed it up since then. So this is an earlier version that you can utilize. The other thing that they do is that they talk about what they've been doing. If a tree falls in the forest, is anyone here, right? So a lot of the activities in the Sustainable Jersey for Schools program, it's not just show us you passed the policy, but tell someone that you passed the policy, right? Not just in the minutes, put it in your newsletter, put it in your social media, tell people what you're doing. Let your taxpayers know that you're preparing the students for the future. Let the taxpayers know that you are looking into green alternatives to save money on the school operations and keep the taxes in a reasonable level. So here's some examples. They talked about money that they're bringing in through the Sustainable Jersey program. Say, hey, you didn't have to pay for this, taxpayer. We're seeking alternative funding. Check us out. They are talking about their energy efficient upgrades and what they mean and how much that's going to offset from the budget. They're talking about their innovative teaching platforms. And, even talking about what their plans are. So some of you who are just starting out, that just want to say, hey, we passed the resolution last week and this is where we're going. So it's, again, showing progress on these activities, talking about it, and even putting them in your, if you're a superintendent or BA, putting them in the board packet so that you're sharing with the community what's going on. And the last thing that I want to share that was really fabulous from Lawrenceville School District is this tracking document. This is different from the action tracking document, that tracks your progress on sustainable Jersey certification. But this is how they laid out their goals. They made the strategic plan real. They made the district goals real. So they said, okay, we want to provide professional development for sustainability. We want to pass a policy. They actually did put their points for sustainable Jersey also. But this ties in with their goals, and they've got the who's going to be working on this. Is the district going to document this and work on it? Is it going to be Ben Franklin Elementary? Is it going to be Eldridge Park? Is it going to, which school is going to do this, so that they can reach their goal of getting everybody certified? They can reach their goal of fulfilling their strategic plan initiatives in the time frame of the strategic plan, and they can they can make progress. So I think they did a really great job of mapping out and, again, making that work real. So I'm going to go back to the presentation, and we will keep going. But I just want to let you know that there's a lot of samples just like that on the website, and the website is free and it's wide open. So even those of you who are not registered yet, Hamburg, Garwood, Pleasantville, it's cool. You can go there. You can just click around and check this stuff out. It's wide open because we want to make it easy for you. So we talked about the sustainability policy through the sample. That's really a baseline thing that you can do with the help of school boards and the help of our samples. And again, you can check them out by going to our website, map of participating schools, click on the policy that you want to see. It'll populate with all those pins of who's already done it. You can read their stuff and you can make it your own. You can even see the contact person there. So if you want to call up Gerald in Tabernacle and say, Gerald, tell me about how this worked. How's it going? You can talk with them. So another area, yes, Jill, we're going to get you a copy of that. We're also going to be hosting it on the Sustainable Jersey for Schools website under our trainings page. So we will be sharing this with you. So another thing you can do beyond the resolution is tackle purchasing, right? So your BA is with you at your board meetings, and they make decisions about, what items you're purchasing. You can ask that they make choices to recycle paper that's at least 30% recycled content. And our action gives points for that. If it's like 25% of your overall purchase, then you meet the criteria. We recognize that you're buying all kinds of different paper, and it might not be possible to do that for everything you buy, like your art papers and things like that, but that's a decision you can make. Green cleaning supplies. So not just passing the policy, but actually implementing it and documenting and showing us that you did actually purchase the green cleaning supplies. Green cleaning equipment. So oftentimes your facilities director will want to do these things, but they need a new type of equipment to do that. So whether it's a HEPA filtered vacuum or a new cleaning system that utilizes salt and water and oxygen and mixes the cleaning agent right there on site, and they need that. West Windsor, Plainsboro, you actually have that. You have, your district has a cleaning, Dana. Yeah, your district actually has that system in all the schools where the cleaning agent is mixed on site in an environmentally friendly way. It's called blue cleaning. It's actually beyond green cleaning. It's blue cleaning in West Windsor, Plainsboro. And they had to invest and make a budgetary decision. Instead of buying the materials every year in their containers, they now have a unit on site in the schools that mixes the solution right there, and they fill the bottles and they go for it. So that's something that you as a board and as district leaders, can say, I'm going to allocate money for that. And then purchasing locally grown foods, having those available in the cafeteria. Our requirement is that you do that at least 5 times a year. So it's not a huge bar, but there are vendors that you can utilize, and you can put that in your contract. So whether it's an outside cleaning agency, you can put that in the bid specs and say, say, we're looking for a cleaning vendor, and they've got to use green cleaning equipment, and these are the standards, and you've got to use green cleaning products, and this is the standard we expect you to adhere to. Delran is a certified school district, and they have those specs in their green cleaning supplies action that shows their agreement with their outside vendor. Same thing with the locally grown foods. In fact, we gave a special award this year for a sustainable business that works with schools to promote sustainable practices. And this year that went to Masho's Food Service, because they actually have gone above and beyond. Michael, woohoo! They actually have gone above and beyond in actually contracting with a local farmer to set aside acreage for food to just grow for their clients, and they also provide materials for packaging, especially now in the time of COVID, when a lot of the things that you're distributing are grab and go, or at alternate stations because your students aren't actually in your school. So there are folks that meet these criteria, but you have to, you don't ask, you don't get, right? So these are things you can put into your bid specs.
Heather, we have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So one of the questions is from, how do you know if the district passed a policy on sustainability?
So first, it depends. If the school district has participated in our program before and is registered or certified, we would have a copy of that in their certification report. Other than that, you would probably have to ask. Do we know which district this is?
I guess I'm looking at that question. I would say, if they're asking if the board
It
has
says
passed
Jersey.
the policy,
It says Jersey City from Gina.
I'm looking at
Jersey City.
you should be able to look in the policy manual of the district.
Yeah, look around 8,900. Yeah,
Right. The policy district, their policy manual is, most districts are online. If you're not sure, go into your policy manual and look up in that series to see if there's a policy. If there's a policy, sustainability policy there, it's been approved by the district.
Yeah, and that's around number 8,900. Thank you for that, Jesse. Jersey City is registered, but hasn't moved for certification yet. So we don't have a record of them passing that because they haven't gone through the process of, kind of documenting stuff. So it's possible they haven't done that yet. And that would be fabulous if you could start that conversation. And if you find that you've already passed it, then maybe take a look at some of those other policies in the program that you might want to add to that. And again, the folks at school boards are here to help you out with that. Any other questions, John?
Yeah, there is another one. But we're talking about the vendors, and can that be done with an outside vendor? I know you were mentioning.
Yes. Again, stipulate your requirements in your request for proposals. What for?
No, we're good.
Okay. So another area. So we talked about, you can make a difference in policy. You can make a difference in purchasing, and you can make a difference in time and resource allocation. So as a board member, as a district leader, you can allocate funds and release time for folks to get trained in green building training, to get trained in green cleaning training, for folks to participate in this professional development for sustainability right here, or making choices to do that at various professional conferences, attending sessions that align with some sustainability topics. Our training page we list not only our training, but other partner training. And we list training that's $35 or less. In fact, our criteria is like pretty much that it should be free. So this training is free, and there's lots of stuff out there. A lot of people looking to work with you and support you in this. ISTEAM development, professional development plans, staff wellness program, and school district foundation. So we do award points for school district foundation. If you have one, great, you get points. If you don't have one, there's guidance in that action to guide you in how to do that, how to grab some people and look at forming one in your district that can provide alternative funding sources for some of your sustainability initiatives. Right now, staff wellness is becoming increasingly important. Not only the pressures of coming up to snuff with the technological, things that are being asked of your staff, but also the social emotional element of how their students are doing in this remote environment, and also how the staff is doing. So, looking at whether your district is offering things beyond just what the health insurance company is doing, to support your staff. And there's lots of examples of that. In fact, Dana in West Windsor Plainsboro, my favorite example is from Community Middle School and their application under staff wellness. They documented this really great and robust staff wellness program. And some of it doesn't even involve money, right? So they had a kind of a Pinterest board site. It's called Padlet, where their peers could put, healthy recipes, mindfulness tips, physical activity challenges. So it was an online thing that even if teachers couldn't stay after school to participate in meetings or sessions or seminars, they could go there. There was staff yoga. There was mindful chocolate eating. That was one of their staff wellness initiatives. We see things like The Biggest Loser. We see discount gym memberships. We see running clubs. We see yoga classes. It's really individual to your school district, but that's something that you could focus on. And that, again, relates to how your district is using staff time, how you're investing in your staff, how you're evaluating your staff. And those are some important considerations for you to consider that will help you move beyond the resolution. And again, all of these things are actions in our program with guidance and resources. So here's an example from Delran. This is one of the districts that does offer a stipend for Green Team leaders for each school. One of their PD days was actually just teaching everybody how to find stuff on the website, how to use the Sustainable Jersey application so that they could complete their work and document what they're doing, and sharing some of the things that different departments were doing. One of the cool things about having this green team is that it's often the first time that the walls come down. It might be the first time that the facilities director is in the same room with the science supervisor. These people usually maybe don't talk. And I remember being at a school when I first launched the program, and that was the situation. The superintendent was in the room with different people that they don't really interact with usually, and the facilities director was talking about how all of the carpet in their building was made from recycled soda bottles. And the science curriculum supervisor's mind was blown. He said, I could be talking about this with my students. We could be using the building as a learning lab. So those relationships start to develop where you can provide more experiential and real world learning for your students through the program, and your staff can feel more supported because so oftentimes our educators feel like everything is on them. And when you open up that circle and you invite that cross collaboration between the staff that the green team involvement affords, it really helps with your school culture. And this is what it normally looks like when you come to a sustainable practices working session, just to reiterate that your time today counts. Allowing space and time for collaboration, empowering those folks and those leaders that will come up to help with these initiatives don't always have to be school staff. We do see cross collaboration with the town green teams where someone with experience there will maybe is also a parent and will come in and be a part of your school green team and vice versa. So, you know, don't think that it has to be a certain person, like the principal has to lead it, or, you know, it could be your facilities director, it could be your nurse, it could be a parent. It can come from anywhere to the structure, you know, the initial leadership for this. And then finally, practices, right? So there's the policies, there's the purchasing, there's the time and resource allocation. And then these are all district, part of that 490 points that I talked about in the beginning, where the district can implement a practice across all of the schools in these different areas and earn points and make progress in your sustainability initiatives. So curriculum mapping, looking at the relationships between the learning trajectory for your students as they move through the different grades and codifying that in a document, whether it's online or a Word document. There's lots of different ways you can do it. We ask you to look at that. You could do it for a unit. You could do it for a subject area. You can do it for a single grade level. You can do it across multiple grade levels. Student participation in the arts. It's having a significant participation in at least 2 arts offerings. Usually music and visual arts are the most common. And then we award points for meeting the state requirement, which is fairly new, is to have all arts disciplines offered by certified teachers. So what are the 4 arts disciplines? Visual, music, performing arts, and dance. So if you have those things offered by qualified teachers, and again, in the action, there's an easy way to find out. There's a link in the action to Arts Ed Now. It's their arts advocacy website from the New Jersey Arts Education Partnership. You can just type in your school name and it'll pop up and tell you if you meet that requirement. So for all of these things, we make it easy for you to explore and make progress. iSTEAM planning and implementation, iSTEAM professional development plan, that interdisciplinary learning across several subject areas is something that requires time. It requires planning. It requires space for the science teacher to talk to the art teacher, for them to, again, get out of their silos and do things together and that complement the learning across different classrooms. So those are things that have to be made into practices. If you're not allowing space or structure for your teams to talk to each other, it's not going to happen. Community asset mapping. This is an action that's in both programs. This is really taking an inventory of who the people, the partners, the institutions, the physical and natural assets are in your sending districts that you could possibly bring to bear to enhance the educational experience in your school. And this is also done at the town level too. So if you have a town green team, you might want to call them up and say, hey, did you do this yet? Because what they're listing is the same as what you're going to list. But it's really just to step back, see what your community has to offer, and then it might trigger some ideas of how you can bring those folks in and partner with your school. Same with accessible communications. This is often a board goal to do a better job at communicating, right? And to find out if they're reaching everybody, because a lot of times you feel like all this great stuff is happening in your school, and then it comes time to pass the budget, all you hear are the grumpy grumps, and you wonder why they didn't hear about all this great stuff you've been doing, and why don't they want to fund you? So the accessible communications action is looking at the demographics of your community, looking at language barriers, technology barriers, even age barriers. We have, some districts that have a large retirement communities in them, and face resistance to getting budgets passed. Well, if you're communicating everything from Twitter and your tax-paying base is 65 plus, you might want to look at some other ways you can spread the word. So this is unique to your school district. Sometimes it involves language, and sometimes it involves technology. It involves taking a survey of a focus group and really steer you towards enhancing those communications targeted for your community. Outdoor air quality awareness. This is participating in the EPA flag program. You all know about, the different air quality days. This is about having a procedure. If it's a red or orange day, what happens? What happens at your school? What does that automatically trigger? Does it trigger that students aren't allowed outside for recess? What do you do for kids with asthma? Is this uniform across all of your schools? So there's, again, models and steps you can take in this area. There's also things related to indoor air quality. And I know this is really huge right now because we're trying to keep everybody safe, especially for those schools that are doing a hybrid approach or are open. You're looking at increasing your ventilation and keeping everybody safe. That is a component of the program. However, that's done at the individual school level because we want to document what's happening in that building. So that is something that we do consider and is done at the individual school level. So I didn't include it today as something that's across the whole district, but there is guidance for that in the program because we know that's important. Anti-idling education and enforcement, dealing with those drop-off pickup lines and compliance with the state law on idling. Having that uniform across all the schools. Healthy food choices. This relates to, you might get some angry parents coming to your board meetings and saying, Johnny's allergic to peanut butter. And I heard that, someone brought in cupcakes last week that had peanut butter frosting 2 doors down. And what if that happens in Johnny's classroom? So healthy food choices is about making sure that healthy options are offered in food that's given outside the cafeteria. So you could implement something at the snack bar, at your athletic events. It could be some policies and practices related to requirements for school parties. We have some schools that have food lists that are like, red light, yellow light, green light. You can have as much as you want. You can bring in as many vegetable sticks as you want for Johnny's birthday, but you can only have 10% of your food, in the red category. Or you can't bring food into the classroom for a group party or snack if it has high fructose corn syrup or sugar as the first ingredient. So again, these are unique to your school. There's lots of different ways that you could choose to, take an action related to that. But that is, again, a practice or a policy that you can implement across all of your schools in that area. Breakfast after the bell. This is offering breakfast to all students after the bell has rung. Contrary to popular belief, it does not take away from instructional time. It is considered instructional time. And even if you're not in a high need district with a high reimbursement rate, there are innovative ways you can work with your food service vendor to make it affordable to offer this for free to all of your students. So, if you're in a district and you're saying, we'd like to do breakfast after the bell, but it doesn't financially make sense because we're not getting a lot of low income reimbursements, talk to your food service vendor. Look at the action submissions in our program for people who've got points in breakfast after the bell. It's not just, a high need district. So it is doable. And then diversity on your district task forces and committees. If you're engaging in strategic planning, it's perfect time to diversify the input that you're receiving at the board level. Your board members, you're elected, and it's who the people ask for. And sometimes it reflects your community, and sometimes it doesn't. So you need to look at the voices that are coming to bear on your different district committees or who you're engaging with strategic planning. And, we give you credit for that because it's important to have a diversity of voices, with regards to your district activities. So I showed you some of the examples from Lawrenceville School District, and I will, provide these links to you. And I also want to share some samples of Green Team accomplishments. So with the Green Team action, we ask you to show us who's on your Green Team, whether it's district or school, and tell us what you've been up to. So you can get points even if this bar is in the way. You can get points even if you it's wanting me to annotate, and I don't want to annotate. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. It's giving me a little pen. Even if you're just getting started and you're looking at maybe getting certified in 2021, you can still get points for this if you haven't been at it very long. We need to tell who is on the Green Team. And Delran, in addition to their staff Green Team, have student-driven Green Teams. So this is their report. This is pretty detailed. They have photographs and everything, and they documented some of the sharing that they were doing, how they sent it out from the e-news. They had a green craft fair. They got a grant from us to do a rain garden. This is one of those things where, it's not only, oh, isn't that cute or isn't that nice that we made a garden, but in this case, it really, really made a difference. At this particular school, this is Millbridge Elementary in Delran, whenever it rained, their whole outdoor playground flooded. And so they lost use of an outdoor space for physical activity about 30% of the school days. And so they got a grant from us at a $10,000 grant to implement a rain garden to better manage that runoff. You can see the blacktop behind the students there. That would just be completely flooded. And they partnered with their municipal green team and put in a rain garden. And now they can utilize that all year round. So they got their partners to donate plants, and they bought some plants. They also did an innovative thing with their parent-teacher night. So they had the typical parent-teacher activities, and then they had sort of like a conference, like seminar, where parents could go into different rooms to learn about different green topics. So they brought their municipal green team in, and the parents could go to one room for 15 minutes and learn about backyard chickens. And they could go to another room and learn about composting. And they could go to another room. And these were all things that were happening at the school, as well as things that could happen at home. So it took it kind of beyond the parent-teacher conference and really use it as an education and outreach activity. So, these are under our schools that are certified. You can look at their green team, activities and read about what they're doing. So here's Tabernacle. They have a district green team. They have several schools, and they have a superintendent, the BA, they have principals from each school, they have teachers on there. We do require that if you have a union in your school, that you give them the opportunity to appoint at least 2 people. They can decline that or participate, but we just want it to be inclusive so that they have an opportunity to have a voice. And oftentimes that's not a problem because you have teachers interested in these initiatives. So they have goals for the year to improve learning environment and student health, provide experiential learning. This district has gotten several grants from us and awards. So again, this is another example of how they've taken their goals and, that may have been a superintendent goal or a strategic plan goal and turned them into action items that their green team helped implement. So they tell us about their meeting dates, and these are the things that they've done. They've passed a sustainability policy, a green purchasing policy. They've done some green cleaning. They implemented recycled purchasing, paper, green cleaning supplies. They looked into an energy audit. They did a waste audit. So this is kind of what we want to arm you with today. We want to arm you with a structure, with some examples, with some tools for you to turn the lofty ideas into action. And then again, here's ancillary people. So they have the district green team, and then they also have school green teams that take it even a step further. So you can see they have a really diverse school green team. They've got the nurse, the art teacher, the language arts teacher, the math, custodian, the BA, the NJEA rep, the principal. So, you know, they've got a dual structure. We only require you to document it one time, but, you know, if you've got this level of people power, this is really great to have these people talking to each other. So I just wanted to share that with you. There's a model for pretty much everything we're asking you to do. You're not alone in this at all. It says I'm sharing the PowerPoint. Are you guys seeing the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay. So organize your green team, make it diverse, use existing committees, tie it to your goals, talk about what you're doing, share credit, invite others to the table. You know, again, this is like an open house night. You know, have your green team have a table, talk to parents about what you're doing, what you want to do. See, you know, see who you can get involved. Acknowledge the work of the people that are helping you out. It's, you know, again, this isn't a thing that's designed to make a superintendent or principal look good. It's a team effort. So share the credit and celebrate people. Make it part of your school culture. So again, you can pass this policy at your next meeting, but if it's not filtering down into actionable items or practices, it's just a piece of paper, you know, in your policy manual. So you want to be visible. Some ways that people have been visible in demonstrating their culture is here's Egg Harbor Township School District. One of their drop downs is this energy program, where they talk about their work in air quality. They have their energy handbook. They talk about their work in sustainable Jersey. They introduce you to their energy manager, and they tell you right here, hey, we have saved over $3 million a year by implementing energy savings activities. And we'll talk about this at our next session in December. This doesn't mean that they did a bunch of bond referendums and did a giant ESIP, you know, to get ESIP is an energy savings improvement plan. It doesn't mean that they bought a bunch of solar panels and replaced all their windows. There are free things that you can do in your school district, like behavior change things, you know, like turning off the lights when you leave the room, powering down your electronics every night, and being consistent, you know, with those things that result in real savings, and also, you know, doing things like managing and tracking your energy, like looking at your past bills, looking at, you know, entering them into different data that are free and online so you can better understand the energy usage in your schools and then make recommendations for capital expenses. But there's so much you can do in the energy area. They've reduced their energy costs by over 35%. And they have an energy manager that works with all of their schools, and he more than pays for himself several times over in savings. Here's Three Bridges Elementary School, Reddington. They happen not just to be silver certified with Sustainable Jersey, but they're also a green ribbon school. And right there on their homepage, academics, classrooms, Go Green program. So you click on there. Here's their bulletin board. There's videos of the kids talking about recycling to their parents. And I mean, it's right there. This is who we are. We care about this. Egg Harbor Township, we care about saving you money. Three Bridges, we care about turning your young students into responsible global citizens of the earth. Ben Franklin Elementary School in Lawrenceville, who they are is right there on their homepage. Take care of yourself, each other, our school, our community, and our earth. Their motto is right there. And when you walk into the school, it's on the walls. There's the students, take care of each other, our school, and our earth. When you walk into the front office, I didn't even get that far into the school, and it was like right in my face. They had the trout in the classroom program, the aquarium growing, where the student came in with a clipboard, monitored the temperature for these trout to be released later. This is a free program with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, where the students raise trout to be released into our streams for later fishing and repopulation of the species. And it's right there in the office. And they had a battery recycling and cell phone recycling and marker recycling station right there in the office. So everybody who walks in knows immediately what they're about. Water bottle refilling stations are very popular. We award a lot of grants for those to reduce, waste and encourage water drinking. It's healthy for students. I was surprised to learn, coming into this position that unlike our homes, right, where our counties or local utilities authorities will just be like, oh, hi, resident, here's a bucket for your recycling. We'll be by next week to help you out. That doesn't happen for schools. Sometimes you have to buy these receptacles. So we also award grants for that. So if you need to buy a system or receptacles to do better with your waste management, that's something that we help out with too. So speaking of that, the grants are open right now. We have 3 grant cycles a year. And the one that closes December 4th, we have 10 $10,000 grants and 40 $2,000 grants. And you can use that for any initiative, anything that will qualify for points. And I hope that going over some of the areas that we focus on, that you'll see that it's really wide. So even if it's buying materials or kits to give out to your kids who are working remotely to do something with them, or really, we even have an innovative projects category that that will cover things that may not, you're not sure how they fit in. We've given grants out, a lot of grants out for outdoor classrooms, and it's really been heartening to see those in use. Gotten some videos from our schools of students using that space for like a mask break, where they can just be outside and separate from each other a little bit and, get outside the classroom during these times. And it's been really great to see those being put to use. So it's 50 grants that we have, and it's all online on our website. It's a very brief application. We're not like a state or federal organization, so we're not asking for your firstborn, and it shouldn't take you more than an hour to complete that. And I know some of you have got, Howell's got a lot of grants from us, Winslow's got a lot of grants. Could maybe speak to that. the ease of that process. If you are a school district with multiple schools, you can use this approach of having multiple schools apply for grants. So say you want to do something as a district and you've got 5 schools, have each school apply for $2,000. You'll still get $10,000 to put towards this initiative, but your odds will be a little bit better because we have more of the smaller grant funds to give out versus only 10 of the $10,000 grants. Something else I want to mention is you may be familiar with the program formerly known as Future Ready Schools, and that program is no more. It has been subsumed by the Sustainable Jersey program, is now known as Sustainable Jersey Digital Schools. This acknowledgement for digital learning and superior digital practices is going to be recognized within the Sustainable Jersey certification program. So if you're getting bronze certification and you've got a substantial amount of progress made in our new digital schools actions, you will get the bronze certification and a digital schools star. Or silver certification and a digital schools star. So we will be launching those actions on the website and having an introductory webinar about that on December 15th. So some of you who, especially I know how you were excellent in both programs in Sustainable Jersey and Future Ready. So those activities that you undertook as part of Future Ready will now get you credit under the Sustainable Jersey Digital Schools program. So you're going to be rock stars, Al. You guys are you're going to kill it. But we have a roadmap on the website right now for digital learning, and the digital schools program update will be from 10 to 11 on December 15th. You can register for this on the Sustainable Jersey website on the trainings page and learn more about that. So I encourage you to keep connecting with us. I appreciate your attention and your focus and your brain power. This pandemic is hopefully going to be temporary, and the problems that we're facing with climate change and preparing our students for future green careers, budgetary challenges that we need to overcome, those are going to be here to stay. And so I thank you for your attention and your commitment to this topic. I encourage you to come to our subsequent sessions, share the recordings with your teammates, encourage other folks from your green team to participate. And so hopefully you kind of get a feel for where you're at. If you haven't registered, if you're my friends in Hamburg, Garwood, and Pleasantville, let's pass that initial resolution. If you are my friends who don't have any schools participating, like Point Pleasant, Greenwich, and Old Bridge, maybe talk to some principals about registering a school. If you are already registered and have some schools participating, which is the case for many of you, I hope that you will take a look at these district actions, think about what you can do as a district leader to move things forward and set the table for success in this area and potential certification in the future. And those of you who are already certified, like Roxbury and Winslow and Howell, keep on trucking. Go for silver. Go for green ribbon. Keep up the excellent work of being a leader in New Jersey. And if you need some additional inspiration, check out our recent award ceremony video. It'll just brighten your day. So with that, this is my team. Larry is the Digital Schools Program Consultant. So if you have some questions about that and want to reach out to Larry, and some of you already know Veronique, she is our coordinator, and she will walk you through anything you need to see on the website. So with that, I will leave it open for some questions. And John, if you have any final thoughts, or Jesse.
No, Heather, that was fantastic. A lot of information, but all good information. And I just, personally, I hope that sustainability in the future will not be an option. It'll just be a way of life. just of the way that we do business at schools. And I think in New Jersey, we're really leading the way, and I think we're really heading for that. So because we have a lot of players here that have just been doing this for a while, and it's just getting better and better, and more schools are participating in sustainability because they see the health and wellness benefits, and of course the financial benefit as well, and the equity piece and all of that. It all plays a big part in this. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it, Heather, as always. Great, Jesse, as well. You know, that board piece and that administrative piece where the superintendent and administration play a huge role, the teachers, the students, the community at large. And Jennifer also, as always, for monitoring the chat and being behind the scenes most of the time, watching everything. So we're going to open it up to questions. So what I want to ask, if you have a question, please unmute and just ask the question. If you don't have a question, maybe a comment.
I always sing the praises of school boards, and not just because they've been with us since the beginning and have been engaged in this work before we even got started, but I don't know of any other statewide school board association that offers the level of support that they do. The iSteam program, Steam Tank, the policy. Next time we're going to talk about the energy stuff. They have cooperative purchasing for energy. They have free energy consultants that will walk you through some of this complicated stuff. You have folks like Jesse on the ground that will be with you at your board meetings to handle and manage those tough questions and topics that come up from your community in the strategic planning process. So your membership dues are well spent, and please avail yourself of those resources because it's truly above and beyond here in New Jersey.
Thank you, Heather. We are available, and just reach out and for an email. We'll get on the phone. We'll do a WebEx. We'll help you. We'll guide you through any questions that you may have. And with Steam Tank, you mentioned Steam Tank again. I said that in the beginning, but that's a huge component at the student level, that students can actually solve problems right in the school or in their local community, and be innovative and think outside the box and be entrepreneurial with sustainability. So we're really looking forward to this season coming up. So again,
I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I know there was a district or two here who has had a team now that could maybe share a couple of words about their experience with the Steam Tank. If you don't mind now, I'm sorry I put you on the spot, but
nothing subtle about that, Jen.
I know.
Steam Tank is something that our district really jumped into. Our students really love the program. They came up every year with great ideas. They love the interventions that they're doing. They love the judging of it, doing all the research behind it, and getting all the feedback from the judges, and going back and using that to even make their programs even better as they move on through the program. So Steam Tank is really something that is beneficial to the students, and it's something that's great through the whole process, because from the beginning, all they do is they're building on from each level that they're exceeding at. So that's something that the students really are doing a great service in that program.
Thank you, Al. And we
Thanks, Al.
commend your district for the support too. We were with the regionals and the finals. Your district came out and stood behind the students and supported them along the way. So it is a team effort.
No, it's not only been a team effort, it's also a community effort. I mean, your entire community, came out for the team. It's like we're building the Steam Tank community. We're building a community. We have board members and superintendents and principals and parents and grandparents and students and community leaders and mayors. And so it's a wonderful experience for the entire community.
Yeah, absolutely.
And connecting it to sustainability. If you had an unsustainable situation in your school or the local community, Steam Tank could be that vehicle for them to solve the problems, and then also participate in a competition and pitch their ideas in front of judges and get recognized.
Yeah, because one of our interventions was recycling garbage pail that they were thinking of. So it would have fit perfectly into the sustainability concept.
Right. Thank you, Al. That was great.
You know,
Any other comments?
Hi, from Old Bridge.
Bill?
Hi, everyone. I just want to say thank you so much. This is such a great presentation. And, this is something that has been on my radar for, since I got on the board, 3 years ago, starting my second term. It'll be starting in January. And, we've taken it's sort of taken a back seat as has been mentioned, with the pandemic and all that was involved with that. But I'm really looking forward to taking the next step to, try to get these certifications for Old Bridge, because we're all about that in Old Bridge. We're very focused on, character education and things like that. And this has really been one of the things that I've been really interested in. So I appreciate all the information that was shared today. And hopefully, I'm going to have to listen to it all again because there was a lot of information shared. But, I'm hoping that we continue to take the steps to move forward to make this happen for us. So thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing, Jill. Yes, and if you have any specific questions, once you dive in a little deeper, please reach out to Heather, reach out to myself. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
I have to internalize everything.
Yeah, the recording will be available tomorrow morning.
That's awesome. Perfect.
And we'll just email us and we'll share it with you, Jill.
Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
I appreciate it.
Hi, this is, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Dana Kruger from West Windsor, Plainsboro.
Hi, Dana.
Hi, I was wondering, now that we've been in this, COVID emergency since mid-March, we are finding that a lot of the sustainable programs that we were doing, trying to reduce waste and stuff, has really just actually gone in the opposite direction because of concern about contamination and things like that. So everything's become back to the single-use kind of, the items we're using are single-use and not, sort of not sustainable or environmentally friendly. I was wondering if any programs or districts that maybe you, Heather, or someone else was involved with had come up with some ways to handle that, because it's, it's like these two very important things are sort of, headbutting here.
So I can offer a suggestion. I always encourage school districts to engage the student population in problem solving, and this is one of those situations that you can actually engage the students in and throw that situation out there and try to come up with solutions to that. Hold on 1 second. Let me just mute. Okay. So that's one thing you could do, is just really engage the student population and even the community and the parents as well. As you mentioned, this is a community effort, and then look at the unsustainable situations and come up with solutions to those situations. That's always works. I know there was a couple of schools that were actually doing 3D printing in some of their tech ed classes, and some of their teachers and students and parents, and they were using 3D printers to actually make PPEs in the beginning when everybody was like scrambling for that, and that was really great because the students participated in that, several schools. And you're right, Dana, everybody's not thinking about sustainability. We actually did a Facebook Live and a presentation at workshop in October on unsustainable practices caused by COVID-19. So those are also available. If you would like, just send me an email and I'll send you the recorded versions of those. But yes, I mean, this is not the time to be throwing sustainability out the window right now. Yes, we have to be mindful of COVID-19. That's a high priority, but we don't have to do it unsustainable. Even when you talk about green cleaning, right, or cleaning in general, some schools are actually bringing more unsustainable cleaning supplies in just because they're panicking. Don't panic. Look at some of these other solutions in green cleaning, for example. They are out there. They work just as well. They may work differently, but that doesn't mean you have to go, against maybe a policy that you already have or a practice that you already have in the school. You have to do your homework and do some research. And Heather, I don't know if you've heard any other schools that have had those situations and have come up with solutions to them.
I think, it's part of their culture, and it's part of what they expect. And I'm glad you mentioned some of the recent workshop sessions about COVID, because that was a big focus for the recent school boards workshop. But two school districts come to mind. One is Leonia. They actually have a website, zerowasteleonia.org. And it's their district website highlighting all their green team initiatives and their goals of being zero waste. And they have not abandoned that in the time of COVID. And also the Hazlitt School District. They are a client of Maschio's Food Service. And they've also returned to old school trays.
I was going to mention that, Heather. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that they Hazlitt, absolutely.
So, I mean, that's one of the things, old school washing of trays and stuff. They're not using, and so we've had to be nimble for a lot of things, right? Personally, with how we're doing our jobs and what we're learning, we're all trying and doing new things. And we've had to be nimble in a very short period of time. There may be some things that you can't switch your contracts and your supplier can't, change, on a dime, a styrofoam thing versus something else. And, this again is hopefully temporary, and you'll be able to, say, okay, maybe, this is going to have to take a back seat right now, but we can still make a difference in these areas. So there's over 91 different actions that you can look at. If you're having a temporary setback because of the pandemic in some of these areas, take heart. You can still make a difference. But look at Hazlitt District's work with also with their food vendor and what their food vendor is doing, and also what they're doing with their reusable old school trays. And take a look at zerowasteleonia.org for how this school is committed to that.
Yeah, and as leaders, just pay attention to, when you're looking at short-term solutions, hopefully they will not turn into long-term problems. But this is, again, if you're looking at strategically our COVID situation or other situations that may come up in the future, is just remain calm, get together as a team, come up with the solutions that are not going to impact the school longer term, and then you're going to have other problems. So, and again, I always say this, and I said it earlier, is put it on some of the students. Do it as a problem-based or a design challenge for the students, and throw it out there. You'll never know what you get. It is 3 o'clock. We are on for 2 hours. I believe we are out of time. If anyone has any additional questions that you could think of later on, please don't hesitate to email us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Usually that's very soon. Other than that, I want to thank everyone for participating today and spending 2 hours with us. Heather, as usual, thank you. Jesse, Jennifer, thank you. And we'll see you the next time.